Greetings, family. I'm John, one of the servant leaders at Living Hope Bible Church, here to provide you with more helpful information about the upcoming teaching that we call Authentic Relationships. First, this isn't just for married couples. This is for everyone. And we consider this to be foundational teaching. It is based on the one another passages in Scripture, which define how relationships should function according to God. A few days ago, I asked my wife to give me an example of when she had experienced the one another's through our church family. After thinking for just a short moment, she replied, when she was going through cancer treatment. Let me give you some background. My wife was diagnosed with cancer in August of 2023. She began treatment in October, and the treatment concluded on December 12th. That's right, we remember the exact date. Now, if that wasn't enough, at that same time, we were in the middle. During the entirety of her cancer battle, we were in the middle of taking care of my mother during her final season of life. However, this is about the one another's. Our church family took great care of us during the entire season, but they really stepped up their efforts while Chris was receiving treatment. Let me read you a one another passage. Galatians 6:2. I'm going to read from the ESV, and it reads this: Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. So to understand this passage, we have to at least begin to understand the law of Christ. A good starting point to understand the law of Christ is to know the greatest commandment, which we find in Mark 12:29 through 31. In this passage, a scribe has just asked Jesus which commandment is the most important. So starting in 29, Jesus answered, the most important is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. So, fulfilling the greatest commandment begins with loving God and leads to loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, which is the source of bearing one another's burdens. I will give you two examples of our church family bearing our burdens. First, during that Christmas season, our small group came to our house. Now remember, Chris was receiving both chemo and radiation treatments. Our small group came to our house. They stayed at a distance in the kitchen while we sat in the far end of the living room, and they serenaded us with Christ-honoring Christmas carols. To us, it sounded like we were being sung to by God's chosen choir, a choir that we knew personally. Second, we received many encouraging text messages, including prayers. We felt the love of our church family, and through them, we experienced God's love. The one another's in Scripture do provide God's guidance for living in proper relationship with each other during life's most challenging times. But they also offer practical guidance for husbands and wives, parents and children, siblings, friends, co-workers. No relationships are untouched. So join us as we learn to live in community with one another according to God's design. For more details, visit livinghopetexas.com/life, or go to our homepage, livinghopetexas.com, and click on the banner when Authentic Relationships appears. God bless you all.